Hey everyone, welcome back. We had a little hiatus there. Tim was busy one weekend and I was busy the other weekend, so look at that.
Yeah.
But we're back. I know you missed us so much. I'm trying to think in the last 2 weeks because we covered like the Grand Theft Auto stuff. We covered like all the Switch news. Hard to believe, guys. Switch 2 is like 2 weeks away. It's
Yeah, 13
wild.
days. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unreal. So Tim's counting down day by day all the stuff, and
Yeah.
then he'll never play it, just like
Oh,
Monster Hunter.
hog. Ah, no, I played. See, I did exactly what I did with Wild. So about 25 hours each game. I got to the story, finished the story, and then I kind of stopped. But I didn't do that with Rise. Rise, I did all the events, and I don't. You know why? The difference was I was streaming it at the time.
Well, there you go. So that's
So
what you got to do. You got to start
yeah, I gotta
streaming
stream it, then
everything.
I'll play more. But I finished. See, that's the thing. Like Monster Hunter, I'm more into the story than I am the rest of it. So when the story's gone, it's kind of like a single player game, right? Once your story's gone, it's
Well, me, I'm looking forward to like some of the new stuff that's coming out.
yeah, like
I don't know about the
the
Street
six. Yeah,
Fighter. Like
yeah,
we'll
that'll be
see.
really cool.
Well,
You
it's
saw
gonna
the
be
videos, right?
cool. I don't know about
Uh,
cool. It's gonna be weird because you like beat the snot out of like monsters with your
yeah,
bare
you
hands.
do fireball. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's definitely they've had Mega Man, your dog and Rise was the little what's that? What's the name of the robot?
Rush?
Is it Rush? Is dog?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, so you were his Rush, and he could, there was a skin, and you had a Mega Man skin. So it was really cool. It had a Sonic collaboration, if I remember right, and some others. But yeah, so thinking of which, we'll get into stuff real quick. But I've had a little bit of change of pace ever since I started playing uh, Expedition 33, and then Sunder Folk, which is a really good tabletop strategy game. I'm starting to go back to my roots, guys, and I'm right now playing. Oh, by the way, there's a Warhammer 40K franchise sale on Steam right now. Tons of stuff on huge sales. Highly recommended if you like, uh, us, turn-based strategy games, real-time story or whatever kind of strategy games. If you like those, definitely pick them up. I got the demo, and I'm going to buy the game because I'm hooked. Warhammer 40K Mechanicus. I think that's what it's called. Mechanicus, yeah. You would play the Adaptus Mechanicus, which are these beings that worship the machine god that basically give up their weak flesh, become kind of like basically a cyborg, but a little bit more hardcore than that. So yeah, so it's really cool. I'm hooked on it, and I'm gonna start playing it like this, Civ 7, some other of the Warhammer like Chaos Gate, and then start playing like some of my finish Expedition 33, and then Mario. What is that little Brotherhood thing that was just released for the Switch? Or not, and two recently. But I'm gonna focus on my backlog. Put multiplayer games on the back burner for a while. Not that I'm burnt down on it. It's just too many good games, and then I miss the heavy story driven stuff, man. I love a good story. And Expedition 33. If you listen to some of the content creators, they said that game it's extremely well written, really good. And what I've seen so far, I'm not too deep into it, but I'm enough, at least 3, 4, 5 hours into it, and I love it. So yeah, I got to start getting my backlog taken care of. And that's what's a good thing about single player games. They're usually one and done. You play it, you go through it. It's not a time, like Marvel Rivals, where you have to continuously, even though Marvel Rivals itself is not really much of a grind, you can literally go on 20, 30 minutes a day and get a bulk of your quest done. That's one thing I love about that game, because some of these live service games, Jared, as you know, is just a huge commitment. So yeah, other stuff is going to go on the back burner. I mean, I'll still play multiplayer here and there, but for the foreseeable future, I want to focus on getting some of these great games done. I love single player games as much as you do. I just haven't really focused on them for quite some time. And the log keeps getting, that backlog never stops growing, Jared. But what about you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, so Expedition 33 is like that's the main Xbox game, Xbox like console game I've been playing. Monster Hunter, I'm waiting for a bloody update. It's taken forever. This week, thankfully, there was like I got to return to it because it was like a new headpiece that came out, but it was so like ridiculous. I only had to do one battle and I had all the tickets and everything I
Yeah,
needed. So I was
some
like,
of them are Yeah, some of them are easy, but at least they do that. And I told you, this is rinse and repeat with Capcom. I kind of wish it would kind of change their philosophy. They do some title updates. Then there's that long limbo of waiting until the
Yeah.
expansion. Then they do the same thing, title updates, and then you're done. It's not a game that's anywhere near like a continuous updates every couple months. It's not like that, which is fine. And,
No, yeah, exactly. So those are like single player wise has been Expedition 33, excellent game, guys. Like if we haven't talked too much about that, we did like 2 weeks ago. We talked a little bit, but that's a superb game, and in a lot of ways too. Not just like story and gameplay and everything. I've been talking a lot to like different folks about it, just saying like 30 people did that. And yes,
they should have done. They should have done 33.
Like, but it was like really, really impressive that like 30 people were able to do that. Like, it's guys, you got to listen to the music too. It's incredible. It's like I don't. A game like this, honestly, it's not even a generational game anymore.
No,
this is like
it's
a
just a great
multi-generation game.
And yeah, and I totally agree. It's just games like this want me to start putting the multiplayer games on the back burner for because let's be honest, I love multiplayer, guys. I love the you get Discord people or whatever, you play with community, whatever, but multiplayers still don't have the production value and what's it called as a single player game. And I don't mean people might rip us in the comments. Oh, you mean of course they have a production value, but there's a difference. There's voice acting. There's usually for the good games a really good thought out plot, story. That stuff is lacking in multiplayers. What? They might have a little cutscene that explains why you're doing what you're doing, but that's it. It's not the same. But no disrespect for multiplayer. Multiplayer games are great and all, but they just don't have the same level of caliber of development as. Make no mistake, though, these multiplayer games are very competitive. They're very well done.
Well, it's a different
great
thing.
Mechanics. It's just totally different experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing, dude, that's like more than all of this is that 30 people put this together.
And they're challenging the big dogs.
That's the thing, exactly. Like like, guys, like this is better than Final Fantasy's. What the hell was it? 16?
Yeah, I would ask you, is it better than the last Dragon Quest?
Like,
Jared.
Dragon Quest, it's really different, right? Like Dragon Quest is like a phenomenal old school game, right? Like they're not pushing.
Yeah. I actually 11 was the last
one.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I put 90 hours into that game, dude.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like the industry could learn a lot from what these people did, because 30 individuals coming together to produce something like this is pretty incredible. Like, to be honest, it's just like mind-blowing how good this is for such a small development team. And I get it. I know Ahmed's been saying it a lot. He's like, dude, did you look at their CVs? I get it. It's like 30 like triple A rock stars came together to do this. I get that. But it's still, when you look at like Final Fantasy 16 and the fact that there was 240 something people on that, I don't know, man. Like, this is, like, to me, this is a major wake-up
accomplishment,
call
yes,
to, like, everybody.
Oh, yeah, huge. Okay, let's bring up Wilds. You saw the credit rolls, right? Mm-hmm. And how many people and subcontractors and sub-countries that they outsourced to for that one title. Now, no disrespect, Wilds is a great game, but, like the visuals weren't that impressive, right? Let's be honest.
No, dude,
they're not that impressive, right?
Dude, all I have to say is, like, the other, like, I haven't finished my thing on like the games I've been playing, but like one of the other games that I'm playing that I'll talk about in just a sec is a Bethesda game. That's probably one of the worst developers in gaming. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, they can put together incredible stories, phenomenal, like your Skyrims, your Oblivions, all that sort of stuff. but my goodness, are their games janky and full of bugs, and like it's pathetic, man. Like, so one of the other
look
games,
at Fallout.
yeah, exactly. So one of the other games, guys, that I was really into, and then you like Tim, like you just said, like then other games come out, right? And I don't want to just play one game forever, so you gravitate, you play a few other games, and blah blah blah. But after Monster Hunter Wilds, I was gifted Fallout First from a friend of mine who, funny enough, doesn't even play Fallout 76. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go and I'll play that a bit, because having that subscription service gives you a whole bunch of different perks and stuff like that. And it's such a good game. That is such a good game, but it's a prime example of what I'm talking about. Like, 3 weeks ago, there was an event called the Big Bloom, and it was delayed by like a month or something like that because Bethesda couldn't get it working in the public, like in the test servers. And then they released it anyways, and it was so bad, man. Like the lag, server crashes, console crashes, like if you were playing on PlayStation or Xbox. And you're just like, come on, man. Like, this is one of the largest developers in the world, and you can't get your shit together. Like, it's crazy.
Like, I don't understand. By the way, guys, I reinstalled Fallout 76 as well. I actually love the game. It's just hard to, but I'm going to be playing that a good amount. I've been working on my dailies. Jared and I last weekend did a couple hours. I think we got a ton of levels. So yeah, Jared and I will probably see if we could actually get a little series going, or just our little adventures. I'd love it every week. Maybe before or after the podcast. Susan's knows a little so under the weather that you could hear my throat. But anyways, so Fallout's great. So I'm glad that you're back to that, because I think it's one of those type of games you never really go away from, because it continues to update.
Yeah, exactly. So I won't talk much about this, but just like, so this season is coming to an end on June 3rd, and then the next season is kind of like a I mean, some people call it a placeholder season, but it's basically a season of relaxing. Exactly. It's a relaxing one. So the last season, was all like about becoming a ghoul, and like they introduced ghoul perks and stuff like that. And if you wanted to like completely change the way you played the game, you could totally do that. But overall, I thought it was awesome. It was all like ghoul and like nuclear waste theme and stuff like that. Like, I had a blast going through and unlocking all the different little cosmetic goodies. And that's what I really like about Fallout, is like the seasons are not like Diablo where they completely change like the whole gameplay. And I don't like that, because like we talked about this before, where it's like you have to restart from zero all the time.
And I have a discussion with my friend Zam. He hates it too, and they started doing that, I think, with 3, right?
Yeah,
they definitely didn't do it with 2.
No, they started with 3.
2 was a great game.
Yeah, they started.
I
with
didn't
3.
like Diablo 3 for a couple of reasons. That finished the game, and that was it. And Diablo 2, I had to have put in hundreds or thousands of hours into that. At the time, that was my first online co-op experience. So of course, it's special, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I hate this because I think it's lazy man's content.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how I don't always get into the roguelite or those procedurally generated games. No disrespect towards those type of games.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's a way for them to, quote unquote, not milk, but get the most out of what they have. So it's content that's continuously being, quote unquote, added or experienced, but it's really not. And I understand for small indie developers, of course, you're right. But the big guys, there's no excuse, dude.
No, exactly.
I totally agree with you. 100%.
So that's why I really like Fallout 76, because they don't do that. So when a new season comes out, it depends. It depends on what the season's about, right? So like this last one, it was a brand new feature that was introduced of like, well, hey, if you do want to start, you don't have to start from scratch. Like you'd stay at your current level, your current power, your current everything. It's just if you want to experience the game in a completely different way, here you go. You have that option. I didn't want to do that. Like I just finished saying I don't like restarting, so I didn't want to do that. But it's okay, because the entire season is designed for all kinds of cosmetic goodies for your home, for your character, for your weapons. New events are introduced. So you always feel like you're building on top of what came before, like fishing. So this new one, it's a smaller season because they know it's not like an action-packed season. So Tim and I are really going to enjoy this, but I can understand others are probably going to be like, oh, that's a little bit boring. That's fine. That's totally fine. But what I like about it again is it's a brand new feature. You
That's
don't
being added.
Yeah, being added to it, not taken away. And what's super cool is like for the first time ever, we can now build on water. So that's going to be amazing.
It's gonna be so cool. It's so cool. Yeah, and I'm kind of glad they didn't abandon Fallout. You remember Fallout 76 had a really rough start.
Yes,
Its early life, and a lot of people were not happy with it, but they've
me.
stuck with it. I wish
I'm
more
one of
companies
them.
did this, man.
I'm one of them. So like, I played Fallout 76 at launch, and
you didn't like it.
You can go watch the Angry Joe review if you want. He pretty much basically felt exactly as I did, because from a conceptual standpoint, okay, it was pretty cool. Like, you're going to go into the wasteland in a new region, but every person that you meet is going to be a human player.
Exactly. Think about it. That's the ultimate evolution of the series, right? Because Fallout's supposed to be a wasteland. NPCs are basically could be other players. You're supposed to, or are they going to kill you? Are they not? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
but there's
what it should be.
Yeah,
right,
there's only one problem. It's boring. Like we're not that's the thing. You don't realize on paper, brilliant, like absolutely brilliant. Like you said, look, if I was in the boardroom when they made that decision, I would have like gave it my stamp of approval, because on paper it sounds wicked, but in practice, when you realize that the server only has like 40 players, that is a massive empty map. And it was so boring, because there's like no story. There's no, like what makes Fallout is that random person you see, and then it turns out they were an KGB spy, and like whatever. But without any of that, I played the game it
wasn't the same.
I played it for like 10 hours. I put it away. I was like, I'm done. I'm like, this is terrible. Like, terrible. Because it had all the Bethesda bugs, that we've come to expect. Plus, it was boring as hell. And the only reason, just like Pegasus, I got into it last year when the show came out, and I had already played Fallout 1, 2, 3, 4 Tactics, and a microscopic bit about Fallout 76. And I remember when the first season came out, the first episode, like people were talking about, and I looked on Steam and the numbers skyrocketed for 76, and I was like, okay, well, maybe it won't be as boring this time. And when I downloaded it and it was like 100 gigs or something, I was like, whoa, what the hell? And I realized that it was like, oh my goodness, like they've been it's a whole other game. It's literally an entire game now, where when you come out of the vault, you actually have a story, and they like guide you towards NPCs. People forget none of that was in the OG release. So ever since last year, I've been like, I beat the story. Then after that, I did all the side quests, all the whatever. And then the end game loop is basically events. You've got events, you've got expeditions. I didn't even take you. I need to take you on one of those. And you have like just so many things you can unlock. And then now they just introduce what they call a raid. It's not a raid in the traditional sense that, you think. It's like, Tim, if we can ever get you leveled up enough, you would actually really enjoy this. Like, it's pretty cool. I watched some videos on it, and I was like, man, I want to try this.
Look at last session. I got 6 levels in virtually no time.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, that's the other game I've been playing. And finally, Last what was it, Tuesday, I want to say, or no, last week. So last week, Dragon Quest V 7.4. So for those that don't know, Dragon Quest, I'm sure I mentioned this before, Dragon Quest 10, the way the expansions are broken up is they're broken up into like 5 parts. So you get like 7, like this one is the 7th expansion, so it's 7. So it launches with 7.0, which is probably like 4 hours of content, and then they, like, 3 months later or something like that, you'll get 7.1, which is another like 3 hours of content, like that. And they do 7.1, 2, 3, 4, well, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 is like usually A and B. So they break it up into 2 things, and then the second part of the 5th like update or release or whatever will lead into the next expansion. And so they've been doing this for years and years and years now. And so so 7.4 just got released, which means we have 2 more updates until the next expansion hits, and I'm very curious to see what they do with that. And there you go.
Yeah, it's amazing you still support that game.
Dude, yeah, it came out in 2012, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice. It's like World of Warcraft type commitment, which is good.
Yeah, it is.
It never
good.
came to the West, though, but...
No, and now, at this point, I get asked almost every week. I get someone leaving a comment on the video saying, like, oh, what do you think? Is there any chance? And it's like, guys, 7 expansions with an 8th on the way. Like, I don't think so. Like, the amount of translation work that would be required to do that now, like, oof, that would be brutal.
Yeah, and we're more and kind of thinking, which they really haven't talked much about the next Dragon Quest mainline series. He says it hasn't been canceled.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, this week.
What's the news?
That was the news this week.
That it wasn't canceled. Yeah,
that it wasn't canceled. And me, I'm just like,
it's like, well, show us something, please. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
No,
but
I can tell you right now, they're full of crap. So it's too long now. So it's likely in the Dragon Quest VII situation. So for those old enough to remember, Dragon Quest VII was a Super Famicom game that switched development very late in the game, which would eventually, well, I have it right there, for the PlayStation 1. But that was originally going to be a Super Famicom game. And I'm telling you right now, they say, oh, it hasn't been canceled, but I guarantee you it has shifted its focus. It probably was a Switch 1 game.
Now it's going to be Switch 2.
Yeah, and I think probably like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, they changed it. And then when Square had its internal whatever, I'm sure that something else happened. It's been too long for us not to have even seen a single image. This doesn't make sense. Something clearly happened.
Well, hopefully the wait will be worth it. And we'll probably maybe a couple of years away from it, dude. But anyways, so we're going to start things a little bit different. We're going to return a little sub-series we had called Indie Corner. So we're going to talk about indie games every podcast. We'll do a shout out of what's coming up. Or today we're just going to have 2 games. One just recently released on the 23rd, so that was yesterday. This was an early access, if I remember correctly. It's technically, but the 1.0 is officially out. It's called Tinkerlands. So, Jared, I'll make sure you put the links in the description.
Yeah, just
Steam shot. So this one is explore, craft, and fight your way through an uncharted island, solo or up to 4 players in co-op. Tinkerlands is an exciting survival adventure where you build your settlement, crafts useful tools to survive, and even use magic. And it's pixel art, overhead, top view, and it looks great. It looks awesome. And if you guys are a fan of those type of games, I'm pretty sure you'll think about another survival type one, but a little bit different. Also pixel art is Scavland. Scavland is a hardcore top-down pixel art survival game set in a post-apocalyptic Soviet Union, even though the developers are from Brazil. Small team, by the way. I've got to shout out these indie companies. Explore a world ravaged by war and deadly mist, scavenging for resources, taking risky jobs, and seeking refuge in harsh settlements. The wasteland is relentless Everything is out to kill you, and it looks awesome, guys. So you have like kind of like a fog of war type thing where you can't really see everything, and you have tons of stuff coming towards you. And you, as you turn, the light goes with your character. It looks awesome. It is coming to early access, hopefully soon. There's no release date, but yeah, definitely keep an eye on that bad boy. This one's a single player one, which I don't care about. I'll definitely check it out. You don't need multiplayer for every single game.
That's right, damn it.
Yes, every single game that's out there. Some games have it. I don't think they need it, or it's, to me, I don't know. But anyways, 2 games this week. We'll get some more lists every week. And thinking of survival games, it's not an indie game, but a big Dune Awakening's coming out, which I'm really looking forward to. Cannot wait for that. And yeah, it's definitely gonna be a good time for survival fans.
Yeah,
another thing too.
I'm hoping we could play some of these things like this week. The fact that we're in the same time zone.
Yeah, we could definitely
because I should be back at the hotel. I'm just looking at the schedule here. Let's see. I should be back. So Monday. Is that Vancouver time or is that our time? Hold on. Because you guys, you're behind, right?
Yeah, 3 hours.
So let's see. Let me go to the flight. Let's see. Where is it? Trips. Here we go. Yeah.
Remember,
okay.
I'm
Sweet.
off on Monday, so I could play earlier in the day too.
Okay. So, well, I'm not sure. Like, so my flight is from, what would that be? 1:30 your time. And I land 6:30 your time. Okay, like something like that. So that's good. That's good. So basically, we're not going to do anything. We'll land. We'll have a bite to eat, and then I'll go right to the hotel. So then I'll be, then I'll be free. And for the rest of the week, it's really not bad. What is this? Igniting Innovation at Web Summit. I don't know what the hell that is. Yeah, it's not bad. So, like, I'm going to be home pretty much every evening.
Oh, nice. Good.
So, yeah, we should be good, dude. We should be good. Keep in mind, I got to figure out how I'm going to do this, right? Because I only have my Steam Deck. It's the only thing I can play. But if you want to do any Fallout stuff, like, for sure, it works perfectly.
Does it run on the Steam Deck?
Yeah, it's perfectly.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
yeah, we definitely can.
Yeah, and I'll use my phone for Discord, so we can just.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm surprised the Steam Deck doesn't have.
It does. It does. It's more the this. It's just like the it's cumbersome now. Like none of these stupid things come with the jack. Everything is bloody wireless and everything now. So anyways, yeah, no, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to that. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be good. Get some levels done. And then other news, Jared, it looks like Konami's finally getting back into gaming a little bit. They got a Silent Hill coming up, and Konami says Silent Hill F, as in Frank, will be approachable to series newcomers as it's a completely new title. So that probably means it's not a prequel, sequel, or anything like that. So
did you see the trailer?
Oh yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool, man. Like I like the like Japanese 1960s sort of setting of it, and I like that too, where it's like it's just an original game in that kind of universe, so you can expect like fog, the radio stuff, spooky as hell. Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, and hopefully it will do well because Konami's been kind of in the casino business for a while. Now there's kind of, I don't know if they don't seem to be developing anymore, which is fine as long as they take good care of their IPs offshore or whatever you want to call it, outsource it. So yeah, I don't mind that. It doesn't have to be Konami as long as they have hopefully some creative input or control, and they don't let someone defile their IPs. Anyways, a rumor though says that. There will be next Nintendo Direct will be on the Switch 2's launch week or the week after. So,
yep.
Again, these rumors tend to be true. Hopefully, we'll get new announcements for new games.
Oh, we have to, dude. Like, if you look at the Switch 2's release, there's like nothing coming to the system.
It's funny because there's a lot coming to the system. Probably the biggest launch ever for Nintendo system, but they're nothing new except for Mario
but
Kart World.
even that, right? Like, if you look at the launch, like, yes, you're right. Like, there's tons of stuff at launch, but it's sort of like, okay, and then what? Right?
Yep.
And so for me, this is exactly what I've been predicting, is that they're gonna launch the system, and then they're gonna have like a blowout of like, here's all the stuff coming, because like, seriously, like, the whole rest of the year is completely dead. Like, we don't know anything. And even from a first party perspective, if you really think about it, we've got Donkey Kong and Mario Kart. Like, we already knew about Prime, right? Prime 4. So that's
Prime
not,
looks good, man. Have you
that's
seen
not
that footage? Of
yeah.
releasing?
No,
It looks
for sure.
good.
I stand by what I've said since the very beginning. It's like, they're doing a terrible job marketing this thing, man. Like, I don't get it. It's I understand that it doesn't
Nintendo,
sell,
man.
but like,
Nintendo's a weird company. Dude, like I told you, I'm actually going to said I was going away from multiplayer games, but I will be playing some in my free time. Mario Strikers, one of my favorite series. I just haven't got around to playing the Switch version. Love that series. And that's a game that did okay for the Switch. It didn't do record numbers or anything like that. Probably didn't meet their expectations, or maybe it did. But the point is, man, that game never goes on sale. So it's like Capcom, not Capcom. I mean, Nintendo is just, it's a weird company, man. Other companies, if a game didn't sell that well or didn't meet expectations or lackluster, you put it on sale, you get, it builds, more revenue and stuff. But not Nintendo, not Capcom. Not Nintendo. They're like, nah, you're gonna pay it full price or not. So I don't know,
dude. I've told you forever. Their strategy ever since whenever they stopped the player's choice has been, because our games never decrease in value. That's it.
And Steven always says that's a good thing about Nintendo, that they trust their brand, or they have confidence in their brand. Unlike he thinks Sony, because Sony.
Well, it's not Sony. It's everyone else. Literally everyone else. Like does that. But no, like, kudos to them that they can do it, right? Like, look, you sent me the thing about Pokemon, right? Or was it Ahmed?
Dude, no, I did.
Okay.
Oh, that's another news, that this year they've sold 9 million pieces of software, and there has been no new Pokemon game.
That's nuts, man.
Prints them money, guys.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's no incentive for them. I mean, they do. Let's make a mistake. They do some new ideas in there, but they don't drastically change the
because
formula.
Why?
And they don't need to.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, why would you?
Why would you? Exactly. I don't blame them. I'd be like, screw that, man. People like it here.
That's what I try to tell you, man. These fans are so hypocritical because they say, we want change, we demand it, but yet they fork over the money. What I tell you, Jared, and I told people on this podcast many times, you know what? Bullshit walks, money talks. So that means vote with your money, vote with your wallets, and that's where you get a company's attention. All these Reddit heroes and YouTube comments, lower the price. Yeah, Nintendo executives, one, they don't even look at it. Two, even if they did, they don't care. They're not going to listen to you.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what the pre-order numbers are for the Switch 2, because
guaranteed it's gonna
be, I think it's gonna be record breaking for the industry, just because
guaranteed.
Like, every company has basically been like, okay, we have more stock, so instead of putting it online, come at midnight. Like, all of them, Best Buy, GameStop, Walmart, like, all of them are issuing emails saying come at midnight.
Yeah, and what's it called? Nintendo's claiming that they'll have enough stock for the US. So we'll see. I got mine, I don't care, so it's good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to this, but I'm very, very happy to hear about the rumor direct, because, like I've said since the beginning, right? Like, for me, Mario Kart's a +1 game. Like, so I'm really looking forward to Donkey Kong and
Donkey Kong.
Metroid.
I'm tempted. I don't know if I'm gonna
Like,
pay $80 for it though, dude. To be honest, I told you, very rare am I gonna pay kind of $80 for games. I got Mario Kart bundle. I actually paid $50 for it.
yeah, no, me
So
too. That's why.
that's more than
No,
reasonable
yeah,
price.
exactly. And for me,
Yeah,
that's fine.
I'm not.
Like,
And
I'm
look,
fine with that.
I understand everyone's financial stuff is money's not an issue for me. I'm lucky and fortunate in that regards. It's not a money issue. It's just not necessarily a principle, but Donkey Kong's the type of game that I will not get 80 hours of playtime out of it.
No,
It's
dude,
probably what, a
it's
10-hour game?
It's
not
all
worth it. No.
It's all, everybody has their own perception of what the value of something is worth, right? So like, I'm just saying, like, for someone like me, like, you know, like Mario Odyssey type of thing, if you gave me a Mario Odyssey at launch, like something like that, that's going to be more the type of game that I'm going to gravitate towards than Smash Brothers or Mario Kart or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, it's just me. That's just me. And that's okay. Like, but I've been not nervous, but I've been a little bit like, like, what else is coming? Because we've got the 1-2 punch of Mario Kart month 1 and then Donkey Kong month 2. Pretty sure Metroid, because we don't have a date yet, so pretty sure that's going to be August, September-ish, like somewhere around there. But what's the big holiday release? Like, we've got
what that Direct's going to show.
Well, that's what I'm curious, because we know we've got the Hyrule Warriors. I forget what it was. Whatever, you know.
Yeah,
whatever.
now you see, that's a series a lot of people like.
Yeah, but it doesn't. That's another one that doesn't sell like gangbusters, right? So, like, is that really going to be your tentpole holiday release? I doubt it. And then
there's room.
Sorry,
what else? I was gonna say there's rumors of a Ocarina of Time 4K remake coming for Switch 2.
Okay, well,
so if
that's
true,
something like that. Yeah, that would be massive.
Now
but,
that's something I would pay $80 for, because I love that game, and you could easily get 80 plus out. Well, maybe not so much the second playtime, because I don't know if I'm even going to remember all that shit. It's been so many years since the 64, but that type of game, I put a ton of hours into it. So
yeah, I mean, and we know that, what was it, Kirby Air Riders. Again, I don't see that as being a tentpole release. I just don't. Listen, maybe I'm totally wrong. It's just,
I hope it's not $80. I'm not going to buy it nonetheless, but I hope it's not $80 because
if that's $80, that means it's 100 here. There's no way.
I'm going to start. Yeah, and then I'm going to start believing some of the comments some about the pricing might be that the company's taking advantage. So there is no such thing as a company taking advantage, because at the end of the day, no one's putting a gun to your head. Business like practices all aside, at the end of the day, it's the consumers, and people have to take accountability for their actions. And I know that these companies manipulate, they use fear of missing out, etc. I understand that 100%. But at the end of the day, it's the consumer's responsibility to hold restraint. And because, like I said, the companies give you the world, but if you don't buy it, something's going to give. So yeah, the one thing that's interesting about comments is some of these people's, everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's very immature though. They don't think from a business perspective. They don't think from more mature, logical perspective. And it's just funny reading some of these.
Yeah, comments. Well, like, guys, I mean,
especially the ones that think that companies are flat out hate them. I'm like, oh, really? Hate? Yeah, they hate you, dude. They hate you. They sure do.
They love one thing: your
one thing
money.
It's green. Or whatever color your currency is in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So anyway, whatever. I'm really curious to see a direct like that, because I'm legitimately curious to see what does the next, like the last quarter of the year, what does that actually look like? Because we know as much as all of us really like Metroid and stuff like that, it just doesn't sell, guys. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah,
it's
funny
sad,
because it does. Here, I'm putting some stuff for you in direct message for the description. It's amazing because Metroid's never been a big seller in their native land.
It hasn't been a big seller anywhere. It's just not.
Yeah, I wonder why.
It's not a big seller. And Steven used to say this all the time. That is, like, they're not going to release a Metroid game as like a tentpole release. They're just not going to do that because it doesn't sell. Like, it doesn't make any. Why the hell would you do that? Like,
well, at least they're making 4. But
no,
because
exactly.
We sell Metroid doesn't sell, but Metrovanias are extremely popular. So
yeah, but it's
literally one of the OGs of that genre, and it's just I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's just Nintendo doesn't release enough of them. You know, they're very look at back to Donkey Kong. It's the first 3D Donkey Kong platformer in 25 plus years. It's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Think about it, right? And then there's been what 11 plus years or so since the last true. Well, unless you count the Mario Karts for the mobile and that AP or AR
Yeah, no, but
version.
I know what you mean. You're saying,
But
like,
there
the
hasn't been a new
core
Mario Kart
franchise
for years.
Yeah, look
So-
at F-Zero. I mean, it's a dead
Oh,
franchise.
dude, we're still waiting.
Well, it's
Still
dead.
waiting for F-Zero,
It-
dude.
it's
or
a-
Star Fox. We're
Yeah.
come on, Nintendo.
Yeah,
It's like
but
I've never seen a company that doesn't milk its franchises.
Yeah, but
like others.
again,
do.
I'm turning into Steven here. That's why people
they sell.
Yeah, because they don't do that.
They can
so
trust it. Yeah.
that's it. And listen, like I'll give them all the kudos in the world for keeping Metroid going, because
Yes.
for Nintendo, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's the truth. I don't think I would. If I were in charge, I don't think I would allow you to make any more, because the sales just aren't there. So it's like, if you looked at it from a business perspective,
It's not a good decision.
like, yeah, like, why? What are we doing, guys? We're spending millions
Now,
of dollars, and I
what
know
about-
it's to hope that it
yeah.
becomes the next Breath of the Wild, or whatever. And you never
You have
know,
to
guys.
remember, before Breath of the Wild, Zelda's was on a major decline.
Yeah,
you,
well,
you don't remember that,
Yeah,
right?
like, because it's because there's a couple of series, I wish Steven was here for this, because, like, there's a couple of Nintendo series that they're just, like, synonymous with Nintendo. But if you look at Mario and Zelda, there's really no comparison. Like, Mario obliterates, like Zelda, and it's the same thing with, like, Pokemon, right? Like, that obliterates everything.
People,
like,
a lot of people don't even know this, but you do. Pokemon is the largest IP in the world.
Yeah.
And not only is it the largest, it is a significant difference between first place and second place, guys. It's unbelievable how that literally people forget it's also a lot of franchise stuff too, not merchandise, not just game sales. I think game sales is just the plot to get more merchandise going for them. They make a ton off the merchandise portion of the IP. But yeah, Pokemon is a behemoth, a tyrant that cannot be stopped, and it will not be stopped anytime soon.
Okay, let's see.
Like Marvel Cinematic Universe doesn't come close.
Okay, you ready?
DC doesn't come close. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Tell 'em.
so here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. So, the number one in the world is Pokemon, that was established in 1996. Okay, so let's see here. How are we going to do this? The way they break it down is a little weird. So the total revenue estimate is 98.9 billion. Okay.
Insane.
The next highest was formed in 1928. That
You
is
guys
like,
can mess who that is.
exactly, Mickey Mouse, which is
It's amazing how Mickey Mouse is still up there, dude. That guy is iconic, though.
Of
right?
course, but look at the difference. 1996,
Look at the difference in numbers, yeah.
1996 and now 1928, and Pokemon's number one at basically 100 billion, and Mickey Mouse is 60 billion. It's almost
double, guys. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Pokemon is a behemoth.
That's it.
And then what's number three? We'll just do the top three.
Okay, well, top three. Well, let's do the top four, just because.
Okay.
So number three, Winnie the Pooh.
Which I was surprised, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, Winnie the Pooh has that much?
Yeah,
pull?
Winnie
Like,
the Pooh,
insane.
1924. So again, man, ancient. And
Ancient.
it's at 48.8 billion. And then
Kinda
number
getting-
4 is Star Wars, 1977 at 46.7 billion.
Exactly.
Think
guys,
of that.
Exactly. So you see how much marketing power or money that Pokemon makes. The Pokemon Company, which is still owned 33% by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, or some other guy, I think it was Game Freak, founded the Pokemon Company to manage the IP for him. I think of which we should do a podcast. How much control? I would love to research how much control does Nintendo have over the Pokemon company, or they just let them do their own thing as long as they're making the money. Who knows?
Oh,
But
that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing, but I'm not done with this. I just want to. So, the next video game series, okay, is way down. I don't even know what number, okay? And it's Mario. And it's formed in 1981. You ready for the difference, guys? 8.7 billion. That's all I gotta say. Like,
huge difference. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. But,
and
yeah, I mean,
it's amazing.
But no one could touch Pokemon.
But
no
I gotta
one.
tell you one thing that is surprising on this list, guys, and that's like Sonic is after Mario at 7.37 billion. Like,
That's amazing, man.
that is
'Cause
amazing.
There was a. I think it's merchandising that sells a lot of this too. By the way, because there was a while where there was no new Sonic games. So now there's a couple of new Sonic games coming up. We talked about a little while back. One's a Mario Kart clone, the racing, and then a Mario Party clone as well. One of them is going to be free to play. I think the party game's free to play. I cannot wait. Definitely be covering that. Maybe Jared will join me in that madness. It'll be good. But we have no info on release dates. But yeah.
But, it's pretty impressive, some of this, man. Like here, Street Fighter. Street Fighter is at 10.7 billion. That's not bad, man. That's pretty damn impressive considering, didn't I just say Mario's at 8? So that's pretty
it beats
impressive.
Mario. And thinking of which, I'm probably, since I told you I'm not going to have any Switch games for a while, I'm probably going to buy Street Fighter 6 for the Switch because it actually has a good story mode, and I've been interested, and I've had that itch to play a Street Fighter for a long time. I just don't want to get my ass handed to me online by young punks. But
that's going to happen no matter what. So here's the last one I'm going to mention: Grand Theft Auto.
What is it at?
10 billion.
Well, that's pretty good.
I know, but it's like, just to give perspective on things, this is like the highest selling video game ever, pretty much.
Yeah,
Grand Theft Auto. It's like number 95 on the list. Like, it's crazy.
That's why.
But you know,
that's why it shows you. Remember, we were talking about Grand Theft Auto and the pricing back when the Mario Kart podcast we were talking about. Someone said that they've missed their window and they've missed their target market because they're in their 30s and 40s now. Bullshit. Mark my words. That game, Grand Theft Auto 6, will sell. You could quote me on that and bet me if you want, Jared. Unless you want a million money, bet me. I found that I actually laughed at that comment because I'm like, again, everyone's entitled to the position, but they do not realize, and you just confirmed it, how big the Grand Theft Auto franchise is.
Yeah.
They haven't missed shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that game's going to sell a ton.
Yeah.
But like I said, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But
yeah, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but they're wrong. So
that's what I'm trying to tell you. People, that's why a lot of these comments go by opinions and feelings. No. Look up research, get the facts, then you can make an educated guess or opinion or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, numbers don't lie. But opinions are like, you know that old joke, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, man, like, so all this to say, like, this is one of the reasons why, like, with Metroid, that it's like, you know, it is what it is. Like, I really have low expectations with that. I don't see that selling like ridiculously well. But I'm curious. I am seriously curious to see like what is next. Like I agree. I'm super curious.
I cannot wait for the direct. I really think the system's going to be great. Finally, we get respectful graphics. Obviously, it's not going to be the state-of-the-art cutting edge, but it doesn't need to be, guys. Nintendo is the masters of getting the most out of their hardware. Look at their first-party games, how beautiful they look on limited platforms. Kind of wish they would share the love with some other of their second-party stuff. But yeah. Anyway, but quick thing, back to that Grand Theft comment. I do say, though, there will be individuals where they have missed their target market. The people have gotten their 30s and 40s and don't have time for it. That is 100% true. But it doesn't mean the game's not going to sell a shit ton.
Yeah, no. GTA is going to be one of the highest selling games in history, unless it's garbage, right? Like unless it's like
come
horrible.
on now, you think that's going to happen?
No, of course not. With like a multi-trillion-dollar budget, like
you don't mess. Just like how Nintendo's so protective with their IPs, Nintendo would never let some third party company do what they want with Mario, like him flipping people off, shooting
Yeah,
people with
yeah, yeah,
guns.
yeah,
It's just never going to happen.
yeah,
Oh, there's a few more bits of news, guys, and I think we're going to wrap it up.
yeah.
Capcom, back to Capcom, they have announced their expansion plans, hiring 100 new staff every year to keep up with development Jesus, I'm tired. I can't think. Basically, keep up with projects and what they want to make. New development building is being built, set to be complete in 2027, in a few years. And they just acquired land for a future building. So Capcom's kicking butt. Love to see that they're growing because they were hurting for a while, Jared. Like a lot of Japanese
Well, one gen,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
it was that PS3, Xbox 360 gen, but I'm happy. I'm really happy. They got to be careful. Like when they were like, 100 employees a year, I was like, hey, whoa, there, guys. Like, just don't go too big too fast.
Yeah,
Like,
that could be a backfire too.
yeah, that's
and
it.
thinking of which, they didn't really talk about AI, but Nintendo did make it made me think of this statement. Nintendo did. They said AI is on a way to basically get rid of human talent, which is good. AI should be a tool, guys. You should never have AI make your games. So good to see that Nintendo and the Capcom don't seem to be going on to that trend. AI could hopefully make development easier by making some mundane or whatever tedious stuff taken care of. Another rumor: 2K is preparing a BioShock announcement that is likely to be released before the end of the summer. Sometimes rumors are a little ambitious, Jared. BioShock's a big franchise too, very cult, kind of big following. I cannot see that it's almost summer next month. Do you think this has any merit? I do think there might be an announcement.
Yeah, I mean,
summer,
like
maybe.
I am very conflicted with that game, much like The Last of Us. Like when BioShock came out, that was the first. That and what was the boxing game? Do you remember the boxing game on the 360 there, where it was like slow motion when you would punch them and like all of that? Oh my God, what was that? Hold on, I need to.
What was it? While you're doing that, there's one more little bit of news. We'll just cover briefly. Looks like the next generation Xbox details are out. Windows-based Steam Epic integration, full backwards compatibility. Epic Store, Steam Store native. Steam BF beta already noticed. Console-like exterior share, new Game Pass tiers, updated pricing. And launches in 2027. So that's a thing we didn't really get to. We're going to talk to next week, guys. A little bit of preview is how big the Steam Epic integration storefronts are going to be for Microsoft, and how Sony is actually panicking. So yeah, it can be interesting. We'll definitely cover
it was
that
Fight
next week.
Night. That's what it was.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
So Fight Night and BioShock were like the two games that really, like, I was like, okay, this is next gen. Like this is next gen. But BioShock is one of those that generation, man, I tell you, that generation really had some bangers, man. From like Uncharted, The Last of Us, you had that. BioShock really, like, that holds a special place in my heart because it was just outstanding, and I don't want anymore. Like, it was just so good that everything that's followed it, I did not find as good as the original. And I'd be down if you want to do like some kind of, glorious remake where like it's lush and beautiful and like whatever. Okay, like fine. But we have tons of remakes right now. Like you could wait till like the next gen to do a remake of something like that. And if you want to make a sequel or like another game in the series, it's just, how are you going to do it that it's special and not just like a Me Too? Because that's what I felt about BioShock Infinite and BioShock 2. I was like, this is just like a Me Too type of game. But the original, man, when you go down into Rapture and everything is like leaking and it's all like decaying and everything, it gives you that Fallout vibes, but in like in a different way. and it was, you know, just the claustrophobic atmosphere and everything. It was such a good game that I don't know. I don't know if I should be excited about this or I don't know. I think wait and see.
I think I don't have the list here. I don't know what happened to it. Sorry about that. We'll definitely talk about it a little bit more. June's games coming out for Xbox, and I linked it to you. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Real time, not scripted podcast. So we try to make it organic here. Where is it?
Yeah, we got to wrap
here. Space Marine 40K. Warhammer 40K Space Marine is coming to next month on June 10th for PC and game consoles. And Game Pass PC. Jared, that Space Marine 2 was a massive hit. And Space Marine, I think you and I could play co-op. We'll get to mess around with that. And that and plus some other great games are coming. We'll talk about it next podcast, guys. Sorry, I don't have the list.
No, it's okay. We gotta wrap anyways.
We gotta wrap it up. Tons of great Game Pass stuff coming out, Jared, and can't wait. But Space Marine, something you would probably enjoy, has a really cool story, good co-op, and then it could lead you into possibly Space Marine 2 and Space Marine 3, of course, has been announced. You notice how a game sells really well, Jared? And
yeah, what an amazing coincidence.
Yeah, amazing. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. So next week, we're going to be a little bit more focused about the big Xbox behemoth that's coming, and Sony's panicking. And we'll talk about more Game Pass titles coming out for the month as well.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, we'll catch you next week.
Take care.
Ciao.